Give us 30 minutes each week to discover the trends that are shaping the future of retirement with That Annuity Show. We bring you conversations with industry leaders who are revolutionizing financial products, technology, and distribution channels. Now, here's your host, Paul Tyler.
Hi, this is Paul Tyler with another spectacular episode of That Annuity Show. And this episode is actually coming to you live from India. We've spent a wonderful few days here traveling across a number of offices of Zinnia, my current employer. And today we're actually in our Noida offices talking to some people who are really changing the shape of the insurance, of the U.S. insurance and annuity space from India. And what a change in time. So let's kind of quickly go around the table and do some quick intros.
Hi, this is Kapil Bhardwaj, Head of Global Processing.
Hi, this is Eti Gupta, Head of Marketing for Zinnia.
Hi, this is Rajan, Head of Airline Exchange of Solutions for India.
Thanks, Paul, for inviting. This is Pawan Choudhary, CTO for Zinnia India, and part of the global family.
Okay, last but not least, Josh.
Hi, Paul. Hey, thanks for having us, and thanks for making the trip across the ocean to come visit us here in India. I'm Josh Everett. I'm CEO of Zinnia India and Head of Global Operations.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I'm always amazed, when I shouldn't be, of how closely connected we all are in this industry space. And now, we first met not here in India, but like 15 years ago in Lincoln, Nebraska, right?
Yeah, that's right, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Long way from here.
It is. It is. A world away from here.
Yeah. So anyway, we were here and thought it absolutely made sense to spend some time with our team here, who actually touch, in my mind, a shockingly large percentage of the annuities that get sold in the U.S. And so, Josh, maybe just to sort of give people context, can you kind of talk to them about all the, how many calls, how many applications, how many pieces of business does your organization touch?
Yeah, we receive about 1.4 million calls on an annual basis. And in addition to that, year to date, we've written over 120,000 new business applications. Over 55% of the variable annuity business written in North America comes through our technology products, Paul.
So 55% of the variable annuity gets impacted or touched some way here.
That's right. It's and we have the ability to scale, and I think the thing that we offer is scalability, repeatability, and high quality outcomes.
Yeah. Now it's interesting. This is my first trip to India. I've had a couple times I came like this close, and then I don't know, something happened. Somebody got reorganized, or I got reorganized, or something. So I'm so glad to be here. But the first time I was involved in the U.S. in working with a team in India was the mid-2000s. I was at a big carrier, I won't name it, put an operation up. The primary value proposition of the center in India at that point in time was cost.
Yeah.
We're going to cut costs. Same quality, but lower cost.
Yeah.
Times are changing now, right? It's people coming here to India not for cost, but capabilities. Talk to us a little bit more about what's bringing companies here to India today.
It's a great question, Paul. From our perspective here at Zinnia, there's an immense talent pool here. You may or may not know, in January of this year, India became the most populous country in the world. 1.4 billion people live here in India. And what that means is a large, diverse talent pool with top-tier education capabilities. And so we're able to find technologists that span everywhere from Java to .NET to AI to ML and beyond. And so that diverse talent is significant for us.
Yeah, we had a great trip that you organized and sent us to at Microsoft, just to hear what Microsoft is doing here. And I saw a lot of similarities with how they were approaching their business with how we're looking at, changing ours. We've had some interesting discussions here. Microsoft has a very clearly articulated strategy. Maybe just briefly kind of walk us through some of the different cities here in India and some of the different capabilities you're finding in each city.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We're in 9 different locations across India today, and we have several large development centers between Gurgaon and Noida. We have over 600 people here that support technology, support operations, and every function and enabling function across our business. So headquarters is in Gurgaon with a large population here. Just last 2 weeks ago, we opened up a Bangalore office.
Ooh.
As you likely, yeah, right, Pawan? As you likely know, the tech talent in Bangalore is amazing. It's been a hub of technologists and innovation for over 20 years, and we're trying to leverage that talent.
Well,
We have-
and I'm just going to interrupt you. Bangalore, this is kind of interesting. Bangalore feels like it's the center of AI experimentation at this point in India.
Correct.
That's right. Pawan, why don't you talk to us a little bit about
Sure.
that?
Yeah. I think opening a center in Bangalore, where you have the engineering talent and the data talent, for over last 20 years with Google, Microsoft, LinkedIn, you name the company, Ubers of the world, being there, it gives us a talent pool to tap, and especially when we are in the build mode, when we are in the hungry mode of looking for talent, looking for someone to change the industry, especially InsurTech, it's a great place to be.
Interesting.
Yeah, Bangalore is called Silicon Valley of India.
Yeah.
This is how it is
Well, and I think you've got a number of top universities in Bangalore, correct? I know a
That's
number of
right.
startups are there. Okay, great. So AI, I want to do AI. I bring my people to Bangalore. I find people in Bangalore. I want some very interesting DevOps capabilities.
Yeah.
Where do I go? What city?
There's a number of cities. There's so much talent across India. When we look at this from the Zinnia perspective, we're looking at tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, and tier 3 cities. So we span across Chennai and Coimbatore and Nagpur and Pune and Hyderabad and so much more, because the diverse talent and skills that you can get from all these different locations helps bolster our team. And having diverse, unique backgrounds, perspectives, creates a team. And here at Zinnia, we're all about team up. And bringing those different and unique perspectives helps us create a phenomenal team.
Yeah.
And not to mention, Josh, our Chennai facility, where we have the state-of-art, network operations center.
Interesting.
Right? So it's a world-class facility, where we are monitoring all our production system 24/7.
Yeah, no, I know other companies are located in Chennai in our insurance sector. In fact, we work together.
Yeah.
With a big Chennai
That's right.
facility. What's Chennai known for?
Chennai is kind of known for super high engineering talent. I think you were mentioning DevOps earlier. DevOps is big into Chennai, and big support operations, right? If you're looking for people who know, understand technology and want to kind of support it, Chennai is kind of known for that. Of course, not to mention tons of startup coming up, tons of kind of InsurTech coming up. So something to tap on.
That's right. And I'd also add, not only from a technology side, but when we think about our operational units, Kapil leads us here in Gurgaon with a large operations center. And the talent that you find here that's process-centric, Kapil, talk to us a little bit about the talent pool here.
Yeah, so Delhi at NCR is becoming a hub for all the knowledge workers. You'll see the expertise on insurance side big time in this particular geography. We have people who have subject matter expertise in the end-to-end life cycle of insurance sitting out here. They're working with big brands, supporting a lot of insurance, life and annuity companies back in US. So when it comes to the insurance expertise, I think Delhi NCR is pretty known for that.
Yeah, well, let's maybe kind of double click into that a little bit. I mean, insurance, the expectations of what an insurance experience has changed a lot. And I think it will change more. I was at InsurTech Connect. We have a podcast, by the way, we will have released with a bunch of interviews from people at the InsurTech Connect. But they were talking about experiences, platforms. I heard much more about end-to-end experience. Maybe talk to us a little bit more about what that is and what this means, and why would you come here to actually build that?
So when it comes to the consumer expectations, we clearly see that it is changing now. The world is moving towards digital these days. what consumers are expecting is a fast response from the carriers. They want to manage everything online on their hands. They do not want to go and compare their policies. They want what is the right solution for them coming from the insurance carriers back at the back of their hand. So clearly, this is what which they are expecting from insurance carriers, and this is, as a Zinnia, we provide on the table. We give them the right recommendations with the right product, which they don't have to give an extra dollar out to anybody else, and they can manage their policies right at their hand. They can see what is happening to their policies. They can see the statuses. They can do a lot of self-serve work with the help of the mobile and the web options we have for them.
Couple, just to add on to that, I think a big thing from a consumer perspective is transparency, but not even just the consumer. I would say the agency or the distribution, and additionally the carrier. Transparency is probably part of the keys to the future when you talk about digitization.
Yeah, I completely agree. So we're using data to provide more and more information back to our clients, which they can see upfront. They don't have to be dependent on their carriers or their brokers about their policies and the other stuff which is happening on their policies. Same goes for brokers. They also need to understand what are the kind of business they are sourcing, where exactly the business is lying. So providing that level of information upfront in the systems is something which we are moving towards. They can see what is happening to the policies which they are sourcing, which states they are lying right now, and what are the additional information is required to process those applications.
So if somebody is listening to the show and they say, I know the journey I have to take, what are the first, what's the first step the company should do to say, I want to make my data accessible, I want to do more with this to create a better experience? Is there a starting step to take? You call Zinnia.
They have to come to Zinnia.
But can I chip in? So I think we have this, Paul, we have this fantastic go-to-market strategy which we just released, and one of the things is Zinnia Now. So we are asking our enterprise clients is you don't have to kind of bake all in or come all in. You can start where you are, and
Right.
we will meet you halfway, right?
Yeah.
So you can come with your kind of system of record. We will bring processing on top of that, the digital event processing, which I think we have developed over 3-4 years for our operations team. If you don't have a SOR system, we have the state of art Zahara. If you go to our Zinnia website, I think we talk about the blockchain based Zahara technology, right? So we will meet you halfway. Right, and we'll make sure that you are service enabled in your existing system, so you can start getting same experience.
Yeah, it's interesting. At InsurTech Connect, I talked to a couple of analysts, and one, a lot of the analysts are focused on, tell me about your underwriting solution, tell me about your claims processing. I talked to one though who said, I think the future is going to be platforms.
And the APIs.
And APIs.
Right.
It's just not quite there, but will be in about a year. So I think creating an architecture inside and a plan inside a company is critical to.
Absolutely. So doesn't matter whether you are a courier, a distributor, a broker. The whole idea is how are you creating that platform, right? And that platform enables you to kind of distribute better, self-serve better, and kind of service your clients better, right? So I think you cannot be kind of hiding your sand anymore now, right? And InsurTech has to compete for the dollars from the consumer, and the consumer is going where there is a digital first.
And then Pawan, one of the things that if you look at the old system of records in insurance, monolithic platforms, you have the user interface tied right to the processing. We've really taken that to the next step where we've decoupled the UI versus the processing that happens underneath that. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely, that's a great point, Josh. So to give an idea, right, the experience part and the what we call the backend part, right? So they have a different life cycle, right? So the experience moves at a much faster pace. User preferences change, your population changes, what they want to see in the UI kind of changes. But you don't want to kind of tie the backend with the experience part, right? So what we have done in Zinnia is we have created this Zinnia Live, which is based out of React.js from a technology standpoint. extremely like independent of like what we call like the experience layer to the backend layer, which is based out of like APIs and the Kafka messaging and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Well, Pawan, your background is so interesting because you came from LinkedIn
Correct.
to insurance. And you were involved in that journey, kind of separating
Absolutely.
these layers apart. And I will tell you, every single insurance company I've worked at to this point has a problem. You walk into a call center, there's not one screen, there are probably two screens.
Yeah.
And each of those screens, oh my God, they're still green.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe now you've got a green screen. You have an old thing that looked like it came off of a Windows, a Bill Gates programmed this himself.
Yeah, right.
and you probably have like 5 of these systems that are
Fragmented system, what I call it.
fragmented systems. So I know you've gone through this journey, but if somebody says, "I have these screens," you did it here. What were the steps? Maybe what are the steps in decoupling that stuff, and then but still not like having to just do conversions for all your business and put them on one system?
Absolutely. Like I think, and you kind of nailed it right, Paul. Like one of the problems playing in this industry is like the fragmentation of data and the fragmentation of kind of knowledge, right? Like so, what we did is like we were like early adopters of the GPT, like the Chat GPT and the OpenAI and stuff like that. And we figured out like okay, like if you are like a call center representative, like why customers are calling you. So we did like a little bit of instrumentation to figure out like, okay, these are the 10 reasons like customers are calling us. How can we empower like our CSR agents, call center representative agents, to have like just query on their side to the internal system. So like this is the data, this is the form the end client is looking. Let me just provide in one way rather than like switching from one system to the other system to the next. Similarly, on the user side, we kind of made sure that like whatever information, Paul, right? Like so nobody wants to call actually a call center and talk like and figure out
Like,
negotiate.
come on, I want to talk to my insurance company.
And so we are trying to make the experience like self-serve,
Yeah.
right? Like so, I think those are the 2 initiatives to talk about, which is helping us a lot.
Yeah.
That's great. I agree. And I think when you're talking about the multiple screens, from an operations perspective, Kapil, whether you're a carrier, whether you're an agency, whether you're an operations individual sitting up within your team, that's a really complex environment. And so with the half-life of UI UX, it's important to be able to keep up with the trends and the capabilities. What that does is make your team's job easier. When you think about the talent coming into your organization, when they're getting the latest and greatest tech, what do you do to help provide them career opportunities when everything is dished up to them perfectly as you need it?
Yeah, so in operations, clearly, as I'm saying, the world is moving through digital, and the jobs are getting more and more tech jobs. We are providing a lot of internal mobility options to our employees. We are helping them to upskill themselves and move to some of the roles which are more relevant in today's world. So we have seen a good movement happening from quite a time now. We are moving people to the testing roles, to the product roles or the business analyst roles. So people are very capable. They have the subject matter expertise, they have the domain knowledge, and they're the right fit for these roles. So with a little bit of upskilling themselves, they are moving the right direction and getting into those roles.
That's great. So then, Eti, I'm going to bring you in on this
Yes.
one. As head of marketing, our focus from a client perspective is North America.
Right.
But here in India, you're marketing, and so you're focused on helping Kapil and Pawan and Rajan find good talent. When you think about finding amazing talent in India, what are some of the things that come to mind to help us go get that talent?
Sure. I think we have a great culture. There are a couple of things which people look for when they go for a job, apart from the compensation and benefits. The 3 things which they don't talk about openly is work-life balance, company culture values, and the career growth opportunities. So just Kapil mentioned that we have very good internal mobility, systems in place, processes in place, people can move, change their jobs. We have a great value system here, be bold, team up, deliver value. I think those are the things people should know, and I'm here to talk about those, let people know about those values and the things which we provide at Zinnia. The other thing is that we can have internal employees as brand ambassadors for Zinnia, which is missing today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to create a ambassador program where people at Zinnia will talk about the benefits they are leveraging at Zinnia, and that will bring the best talent here.
Yeah, ET, we had a really, the meeting with Microsoft is fascinating.
Yes.
To hear how they approached human resource management. So, Microsoft had a model where they sort of they described it to us. I'm not going to do it justice, but sort of a global culture. Actually, Pawan, you can speak to it. I'll tell you and tell me what differences you'd add here. But they had a global culture, but they sort of had a template that sort of adjusted to local.
Nuances, right?
Yeah, nuances. Some driven by regulations and law,
yeah.
but I think Eddie, you're talking to something more specific, which is how do you create a culture that actually works within the Indian environment. So if somebody's listening and they say, I want to build a talent center here, or I'm looking for a company to partner with long term, what is the checklist to say, this company has created a culture that is sustainable and going to deliver the type of value that you're hoping for here?
I think that's what we have those ingredients to be a great place to work for, and it's just that we haven't talked about it. So be it, I'll repeat that, be it work-life balance, be it career growth opportunities.
What is work-life balance here in India? I have a definition in New York City of what work-life balance is.
Okay.
It's a lot of work. Describe it here. When do you go to work? When do you come?
So,
across the Noida. What are the how do people come to work, show up, and leave, and manage kids and families?
So I think one of the best thing COVID has given us is a hybrid culture, work environment. I think that gives a lot of work-life balance nowadays, because at Zinnia we have a hybrid model. We have flexible hours, wherein you can, if you have priority hours for your family or for your personal work, you can change your work timings. It's flexible. So I think that makes a lot of sense for people who are looking for a work-life balance. The other thing is the kind of spread locations we have, and India has multiple locations, so your travel time is reduced, and that again gives you time for your family, time for your personal priorities.
Yeah, I can add like few points what AJ talked about. For example, Friday funs, we have birthday celebrations, all happening in the office. Then we got all training culture, complete atrium we have built. Tons of trainings are there where talent is getting developed, upskill, learning. And then we have a lot of offsite where people are going to on weekends, traveling together. Our teammates to different places, so this is like work-life balance we have as part of Zinnia, and obviously in India also. One thing I want to talk about, when we had this India talent, we got remote employees also. It's not like Bangalore or Hyderabad, or we can have anybody anywhere in the entire India available on desktop. They can work from their home, and all that access we have.
Yeah, I would think it's really opened up a lot of possibilities. I think it's opened up more possibilities to work around the globe because I think the adoption of technology.
That's right. And I think, one of the things that we believe in at Zinnia is, find the talent where they're at, right?
Yes.
And so when I think about finding that talent, India has an amazing startup culture. I thought the US had an amazing startup culture until I really got in deep here in India with that startup culture. And it's pretty impressive. And the thing that hits me directly is the pace and the amount of innovation. And Rajan, you help run our LNA exchange products here in India, and we do a lot of innovation right here on the ground, and driving that product development to deliver that next tier status. Talk to us a little bit about the innovation journey and how we emphasize user-centric designs.
Yeah, this links to what you were talking about a few minutes back. Pawan responded on that. So what we got right mix of user experience, which is how we can enable our entire industry in terms of actors, starting from customers or the prospect or the policyholder, then advisors or distributors or agents, and then finally the carriers team to deliver the entire offering of the policy to the end user. So this is where the right mix of technology we make. Legacy systems we got all API in between, then we're putting complete AI into every stage of the processing, like engagement of the customers. This is like API driven solutions we are building. So this is how it, like 20 years we started building solutions as part of Zinnia. Then we started from very legacy systems, then modernized into React or other systems. This is what we have done. Yeah.
I love that. And part of what we're trying to do here in Zinnia India is create that innovation and advance that innovation culture. Companies like ours are often called GCCs, Global Capability Centers.
And we refuse to say that.
And we refuse to say that, Pawan. And so what we're trying to really hard to create a new category. GIC.
GIC.
You want to talk to us a little bit about Global Innovation Center?
So it's like the Global Innovation Center, and like Josh said, right? And I mean, so we refuse to call ourselves like as captives, right?
Yes.
Like or the back office of like
Right.
the main center headquarters, right? We want to be like equal partners, like so just like we have sites in US, we have like kind of office and locations in India, right? We have like India leaders, we have like US leaders, we have India associates, we have like US associates. So the power, like the trust and the responsibility which we are kind of giving to our associates, right, to explore, to kind of dream and dream big, right? Because we are changing the industry here, Paul. Like not like
Oh, I know.
not
I
like fixing
see
the
it.
system. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that we have in common with Microsoft is how do you create the empowerment for our team right here in India to make decisions, to make product design decisions. That way you don't have to wait for the sun to come back around again.
Correct.
Pawan, how have you enabled your team to go make that happen?
This is a fantastic question, Josh. Like I think if you see, right, like if you just have like body augmentation, right, like so if you just hire like few engineers here, one designer there, essentially they are waiting for like decisions to be made like when US comes online. What we have done is we have created like pods, and the pods are like people having like good chemistry. So you have like engineering people, you have quality people, you have designers, you have product people, all sitting and thinking about like the same problem in the same time zone. So you can imagine the decision making becomes like super fast and kind of enables us to deliver solution in parallel to kind of what like our US counterparts are delivering.
Puts us on super speed on transformation and innovation here in India, right?
Yeah, again, sorry to talk about Microsoft so much, but it's fresh in my memory. We heard that from Microsoft.
Right.
We asked him the person who is running the site. Yeah, he described the same thing. Is that key to innovation was empowering a local group to actually own a process or own a
Charter.
Yeah. So I think it's a very different operating model. I think insurance companies that come thinking they're going to leverage India, but it's just sort of an after-hours type of operation. I think they're missing a lot of value.
It's one of the keys. It's one of the keys to set up an amazing group of individuals here that are empowered. Let them make decisions. Be empowered to help us transform quickly and through agile processes. It is one of the keys to the kingdom of how do you create an amazing talent pool, leverage that amazing talent pool, and drive transformation into industry.
And oh my God, Josh, like, our tenure, like, on average, we have like, 12, 15, 20 years, and like Rajan sitting next to me, like, who has like more than 20 years in like, LNA himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So many domain experts.
That's right. Leverage that talent, right?
Yeah.
We started developing it like hiring people here, then did all the rich trainings, insurance, every aspects, how the insurance started, all that we started. So we got this rich talent available in the pool with us in India now.
So I feel like, we have thought leaders in India, not just like order takers.
Oh, I agree.
Which is different, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, like for so long, I've been coming to India for 20 plus years at this point. And for many of those early years, it was just thought as a back office. And it's transformed. And it's transformed significantly over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Well, okay, picking partners is a really tough thing
Oh, it's
in this
very hard.
industry, right? You sign a contract, it's not a 1 year commitment. The contract may say a year, but it's a much longer one. Imagine I'm working a carrier. I'm responsible for an area. I'm looking to leverage the talent here in India. What does the checklist look like for an RFI I should put out, or how, more importantly, what should I be looking at when I meet the people?
Yeah, I love the question. Number one, and I think you asked it right, a partner. If you're looking for a vendor, that's different. You need a partner that wants to build with you, wants to transform with you, wants to innovate with you. I always often say to our senior leadership here in India, 2 brains is always better than 1. So if you have a partner that thinks with you and is agile with you, collectively you can go make great things happen together. So I think a partnership more than a vendor relationship is super important. I think the second is having a talent acquisition team that is lightning focused on finding that next gen talent. There's the educational system here is phenomenal. You got to be able to go get that talent earlier in their career and then back that up with career development. So find the great talent and then help them become the best them that they can be, right? And once you create that career path, you have people like Rajan that spend 20 years with you, understand the industry, has, developed products that, to our earlier point, many of the industry players in the industry use. Partnership, great talent acquisition capabilities, great career training, development, and ultimately getting those folks to be the next leaders.
And like the scalable products, how your products can scale, and then how quickly you can onboard your careers on your platform. So this is where we have the advantage, the kind of products we have built to bring them on the platform. This is the partner somebody looking for, that value proposition we have.
Yeah.
And one thing I will add, right? Like, so many of our kind of newer careers, they don't want to kind of build technology all in-house, right? Like, so they are looking for like kind of partners like Zinnia, who has like modern tech to, I think some of your point, like who has like the best talent in-house, best platform in-house, which enables them to kind of launch product quickly, so like they can focus on sales and marketing, whereas like we can do like processing.
And that's Zinnia launch, right? Sorry, Rajan. That's
yeah.
Zinnia launch. So, the industry over the years, it used to be, 3 years to launch a product, 2 years to launch a product, 18 months to launch a product. And that you're going to miss the market trend. You're going to miss the opportunity to go capture and seize that market. So with Zinnia launch, we're helping carriers get their products up quick and fast and nimble and be able to adjust through rules configuration.
Absolutely, with this interest rate going up and down every day, like
Yeah, I think the key to growth is really taking a hard critical look at how you're doing business today and realizing it has to change. So I'm going to put you all on the spot, and Eti, you're going to be the first one. Okay, and this is not about India, it's not about the U.S., it's about our industry. If you could give people one piece of advice for making positive change in this industry, what would it be?
Okay. I think just go with the trends. Adaptability is one thing that everybody should look for. The times are changing. The AI has taken over. So if you're adaptable to the environment, I think you can make changes.
So I think I'll go with like simplified the processes. The way industry is moving, the AI is coming into this, the complexity is available. Just simplify the processes. This is where we are coming with a unified version of our offerings, the product which we're doing. That is the key takeaway. I think people to understand how we can make very simple processes to execute their work and to deliver the.
From my side, it's like being bold, right?
Being bold.
Yeah, be ready to change. Be ready to challenge your status quo. What you're doing today is not good enough.
Yeah, I love it. I think mine's transparency. Whether it's me personally, the carrier, the broker, the agent, the consumer, you want transparency today. With the digital capabilities that we have in front of us, transparency is simple. And to Rajan's point, simplification is the key to the king.
Boy, but it's hard. I'm telling you, making things simple is hard.
It is.
Very easy to make them complex.
That's right.
Hey, well, listen, this was great. Josh, thank you for hosting me, all of you. This was wonderful to spend time with you in India, and I can't wait to have you all back in our area.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for making the trip across the ocean to come see us. It's been great to have you with us here, and thanks for your time this afternoon.
No, thank you, and thanks to all our listeners. Be sure to share this episode with your friends, and most importantly, tune in next week for another great episode of That Annuity Show.
Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more information or listen to more episodes at thatannuityshow.com. Nassau Financial Group is always working harder to be your carrier of choice. We build products that help protect people's savings and are dedicated to providing you with best-in-class service. We seek to keep things simple and have your back in the years to come. Nassau is headquartered in Hartford, Connecticut. Learn more at nfg.com.
Zinnia, an Eldridge Industries business, simplifies insurance. It delivers comprehensive solutions for the industry's most critical needs and creates the modern rails of the insurance industry. To learn more about Zinnia, please visit zinnia.com.